So today we're going to dive into the incredibly powerful and frankly heart-wrenching story of the regional Indian film Budhiya. It's a story about love, about a father's singular dream, and really about what happens when a corrupt system pushes an ordinary man way past his breaking point. Right from the start, the film hits you with this line. And what it does is it sets this really foreboding tone. It frames the entire story as a look back on a life that started with so much hope, only to be completely and irrevocably shattered by tragedy.
The story kicks off with a really hopeful first act. We get introduced to our main character, Budhiya, and we see how he builds this beautiful, unconventional family, pretty much against all odds.
Now, Budhiya is a simple farmhand. He's an orphan, no family name to speak of, but don't let that fool you. He has this fierce determination inside him. And his love for Signia, well, that becomes his anchor. It's this pure, powerful bond that really gives him strength in a society that tends to look down on him. And you just see their connection in these small, beautiful moments. When she asks him, "How much do you love me?" his answer, just a simple gesture, this much. It says everything. It's not about big, grand, romantic gestures. It's about a deep, unspoken affection that really defines their entire life together.
And then, everything changes. Their story takes this huge turn when Budhiya finds a baby girl just abandoned in the fields. And everyone's telling him, just leave her, it's not your problem. But he absolutely refuses. He sees it as a sign, a gift from God. He manages to convince a very hesitant Suginya that this child is their destiny, and they name her Chanda, which beautifully means moon.
This line from his lullaby, wow, it just gets you. It perfectly captures the immediate, profound love that Budhiya feels for this little girl. As he's singing her to sleep, he's already weaving all these incredible dreams for her future. And right there, that's it. That bond between father and daughter becomes the absolute heart of the film.
Okay, so this incredible love he has for her, it funnels right into the story's rising action. It crystallizes into one all-consuming purpose that is going to define every single moment of Budhiya's life from here on out.
Now, to really get this dream, you have to understand what a collector is in this world. We're talking about a district magistrate, a really high-ranking government official. I mean, for a guy like Budhiya, a poor, landless farmhand, this isn't just a career path. This is like reaching the moon. It's the absolute pinnacle of respect, power, authority. Basically, it's everything he's.
And the thing is, Chanda is all in. As she grows up into this really bright, determined young woman, she completely takes on this dream. It stops being just her father's goal, it becomes her own life's mission. She gets the weight of his sacrifice, and she is absolutely determined to make it happen for him.
And they have this amazing visual symbol for his dream, a simple clay pot. Every single spare coin he earns from his backbreaking work goes right into this pot. I mean, it's such a humble object, but it holds the entire weight of his love, his sacrifice, and this massive dream he has for Chanda.
And this is where everything just falls apart. The story takes an absolutely devastating turn. We go from all this hope and sacrifice straight into a nightmare. The tone shifts from a hopeful drama to absolute horror. So you're left asking this question, and it just hangs over the rest of the film. And the answer, well, it arrives in the form of the local landlord, the very man Budhiya works for, and his predatory, entitled son, who is just this embodiment of the corrupt power that crushes anyone who gets in his way.
What's so horrific about this is how calculated it is. This isn't random. It's a deliberate, predatory trap. They actually use Chanda's love for her father as a weapon against her. They lure her with this lie that he's been hurt in the fields. Of course, she rushes to help, only to be dragged into the mansion and assaulted by two men. It's just a complete and total violation of innocence. So after that horrific act, we're thrown right into the climax of the film. Any hope for justice through the proper channels, through the system, it's just extinguished immediately. And that forces Budhiya down a very different and much, much darker path. And what happens next is just this brutal collision of two completely different ideas of justice. Budhiya, still trusting his master, he goes and reports the crime. But the landlord's version of justice isn't about righting a wrong. It's a bribe, a pathetic sum of money to buy his silence. The message couldn't be clearer. The powerful protect their own, and you don't matter.
So Budhiya gets home holding this blood money, and he's met with absolute fury from his wife. She's horrified he would even consider taking it. But in the middle of this terrible argument, they make the most horrifying discovery imaginable. In the next room, completely broken by the assault and the realization that she'll never get justice, Chanda has hanged herself.
And she left a note. And her last words, they aren't a plea for justice. They're an order. She tells her father, if you truly want me to get justice, kill these monsters. This heartbreaking letter is the final push. It transforms this gentle, dreaming father into an instrument of pure, cold vengeance.
And just like that, there's no turning back. There's no hesitation. The man who dreamed of books and a better life is gone. In his place is a father consumed by this one violent purpose. He hunts down both of his daughter's attackers, and in a fit of cold rage, he ends their lives. And that brings us to the film's absolutely devastating conclusion, where budhiya finally confronts the man who orchestrated the whole cover-up and delivers the story's final tragic message.
The final showdown, of all places, happens at the village temple. Budhiya, having already taken care of the son, comes face to face with the landlord, and he tells him, I've sent your monster to hell. He says that now, finally, his Chanda can be at peace. He delivered her version of justice.
So, in the end, of course, budhiya is arrested. His dream for his daughter is dead. His own life is completely destroyed. And you realize nobody wins here. Absolutely nobody. The system's failure to provide justice just created this vacuum that could only be filled by violence. And that violence just consumed everyone, leaving nothing but loss and pain behind.
And the film leaves you with this one haunting question from its final song. It's a direct challenge to all of us, asking how long a society can possibly survive when it preys on its own daughters. It's a tragic, powerful story that just sticks with you, you know? It really makes you think about where justice actually comes from and what happens when it's nowhere to be found.